Life is all about choices. You might believe that there are just two choices to be made, but oftentimes you'll realize that even believing that there were only two choices was a choice in itself. I often flip between the idea that with the correct series of choices, anything can happen, as well as the fact that no matter the choice, the outcome is always the same. Today we're going to be looking into and ranking the different choices that people have through the form of the red and blue pills along with their variations. The tier list will be a standard one going from S to D tier, and we'll start with the basics and get more esoteric as we go along. And if you think I'm making some of these pills up, then clearly you're just soy pilled, cuck pilled, and history will never remember your name pilled. Starting off with the blue pill. The blue pill is the choice of ignorance, to be willingly and continually led astray despite the offer of truth before you. You'll probably see a lot of terminally online people use the term to disparage any normies and criticize their choice of not wanting to look beyond the primary layer when it comes to what the so-called truth is in the world. Maybe I'm just cuck-pilled, but if I was actually Neo in the Matrix movies, giving up a pretty chill life as a programmer to go and nearly die fighting robots that own the Matrix doesn't sound too appealing, to be honest, and I might not be as eager to go down the rabbit hole as he was. Like, yeah, let me just leave my chill apartment and go eat slop in the sewers whilst evading giant machine sentinels that, wait for it, can see electrical output whilst you, yes you, are on board a flying electrical shitbox. Whose genius idea was it to do that, by the way? I get you need electricity and whatnot, but you can't expect me to believe that this is the only option, to just continually run around until they found the one in Neo. Also, the biblical references in the Matrix are pretty funny. The ship's name is Nebuchadnezzar, and let me just tell you that the real Babylonian king was not a fan of the people of Zion. So it's pretty stupid to name the ship that smuggles the Matrix's freedom fighters after the guy who systematically destroyed the people that they represent. But yeah, the blue pill is for those who don't care or want to dive too deeply into worldly affairs and are happy to be in their own bubbles, which I can't really hate them for. But it's still going to go into the C tier. The red pill is the choice to embrace and publicly accept the uncomfortable truths, regardless of the consequences of that choice. Usually people would describe themselves as based and red-pilled, and in the Matrix the red pill was the pill to take if you wanted to know the real truth about the fake world that they were living in. Today the red pill has been hijacked by boomers and old people who think that's what the current cool thing is to say, and they use the term incorrectly whenever possible. Same with the phrase F around and find out. If I see another goddamn boomer post F around and find out after a woman gets beaten for no reason, I'm about to lose it. In fact, I'm going to fast track my next video to be about boomers because as of recent they've really started to become annoying. And the funniest thing about it is that if you actually gave a boomer a real red pill, their heart would probably give out and you'd need to give them an elephant's dose of heart medication just to avoid manslaughter charges. I'd like to add that manosphere content is just as cringe, but for now I'm focusing on boomers. Even though it is hijacked and now less cool, I'll still put it one above the blue pill in the B tier. The black pill is our next pill. It represents the choice of accepting that things are horrible and will not change. Some science nerds have tried to associate the incel ideology with the black pill, and to some extent it is true. However, you don't necessarily need to be an incel to be black-pilled. A lot of black pilling can come from just negative views on life in general, not necessarily to do with relationships. You don't necessarily need to be completely black-pilled either, as you can hold some beliefs that are black-pilled without having no hope for the future. I'm black-pilled about a few things that are not relationship related, like the fact that gone are the days when you could purchase a family house with a normal job without signing a 30-year mortgage at 7%. Being black-pilled is kinda shitty if I'm being honest. No one wants to be black-pilled. But then again, being black-pilled isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world either, so for that reason I'm going to put it in the C tier, but at the bottom. Okay, so that's a bit deep. Let's get into the stupid ones. Soy Pill is the choice to replace red meats and poultry with soy-based alternatives. People tried to claim it was a conspiracy that soy made you feminine, but Harvard released a study that found isoflavones in soy bind to estrogen receptors, leading to increased estrogenic activity. Now, I'm not the biggest Okay, who am I kidding? Maybe I am the biggest conspiracy theorist, but the fact that 4chan was right about soy making you feminine is just hilarious to me. Anyways, obviously this is going into the D tier, as anyone who'd willingly choose to soy pill themselves probably has other issues going on as well. Next is 9/11 pilled. Which, quite frankly, I find disgusting that people would even mock such a tragic event that happened within our lifetimes. S tier, obviously. Next we have the Reddit pill. Yes, I know hating on Reddit is overdone, but it's still a phenomenon. The Reddit pill is the choice to be uniquely boring. It's for people who like to learn interesting facts and tell them to people who probably don't care. Usually they're the type that did well early in school, then as a result fell behind when it required actual work to produce those same results. Earlier Reddit used to be decent, but it was also full of PDF files, so yeah. Actually, it's still full of PDF files, so not much has changed, I guess. I used to use it to browse the Wall Street Bets subreddit before it became a cesspool, and I doubt there will ever be ornamental gourd posting like that again. The internet janitor pill is going to go into the D tier with the soy pill, as oftentimes they go hand in hand. The white pill is the choice of enlightenment, and honestly it's something that we should all strive for. It's the choice of seeing the beauty in life and being able to accept that, although not perfect, life is worth living and the human experience is a valuable thing. I think most people can become white-pilled. It honestly wouldn't take much, just a change in attitude towards life, which would make life better for all. Or another small thing, I'm not entirely sure. But the white pill will definitely be going into the S tier as a pill. The sugar pill is just a control pill that doctors give to patients in order to compare to the actual drug pill in clinical trials. So the fact that you got fooled is a bit of an L, to be honest. So we're going to put you in the C tier just after the black pill. Cuck-pilled is one that I don't need to explain the premise of, as if you aren't aware then you probably shouldn't be. People who are cuck-pilled can be literally cuck-pilled or metaphorically cuck-pilled, and the difference between the two is just a state of mind. As one can be cuck-pilled mentally but still outwardly present as normal, whereas, although rare, it is possible to find someone who is physically cuck-pilled but not mentally cuck-pilled. Nevertheless, it's just another pill that's a bit pathetic, to be honest, so it's going into the D tier. Next up is Zuma Pill. Now this one might be a controversial one and you might judge me because of it, but I'll tell you now that it's going into the A tier. I was tempted to put it in the S tier, but because I am a Zoomer, yes, unfortunately this is my coming out story, I am indeed a Gen Z kid. To avoid any claims of being biased, I'll put it one below S. Let me tell you what Zuma pilling is first, then I'll explain why it's an A tier pill. To be Zuma pilled is to be able to say, F it, we ball about anything. Like if shit hits the fan, you just keep it pushing and prepare for that next bucket of shit. It's the choice of not letting the bad get to you, while simultaneously, continuously pushing forward. I mean, us Zoomers are going to inherit one of the worst economies, all whilst living under geriatrics who cause those problems, and who are desperately clinging to power, as if they would turn to dust if they retired or left office. So even with all the problems my generation has, I still believe the kids will be alright in the end, and for that reason, I believe it deserves its place in the A tier. Next is Dictator Pill, and let me just say that I am 100% Dictator Pilled. Imagine having a single person with the power to actually do something. Democracy just doesn't work very well, as all it really does is democratize responsibility and blame more than anything else. When was the last time a politician had to actually face the consequences of their dumbass policies? Yeah, never. We need to bring back the ancient Greek rule of ostracism, which allowed for the banishing of one politician per year. That's the type of democracy that I can get behind, and it would fix like 95% of our problems. Dictator Pilled is S tier, and if I was a dictator, best believe there would be changes for the better immediately in society. Mostly anyway. Mostly. Mostly. Next is Chill Pilled, which you seem a little tense, you should probably take one. Effective and useful, going into the A tier. Our final pill is the No Pill. People who have evolved beyond the thinking that their choices are one-dimensional and know that there is no one true pill or choice that can be made, and that our actions are dynamic and influenced by constantly changing stimuluses and environments. This one sounds to me like someone is unable to commit to a bit. Sounds like some nerd shit if you ask me. Straight to D tier with the rest of the losers. Maybe making no choice is still a choice, but it's the worst choice. Alright, that's the end of the Red Pill tier list video. If I managed to miss your preferred pill, let me know down below. And if you identify with any pills going from C to D, please reconsider your life choices. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing, but other than that, thanks for watching, hope to see you in the next video.